Now on to the summit's venue, Camp David. The U.S. presidential retreat has a history of holding landmark summits and discussions. And Yoon will become the first South Korean leader to visit in 15 years. Choi Min-jung reports.
In 2008, former President Lee Myung-bak became the first South Korean president to visit Camp David, the U.S. presidential country retreat, at the invitation of then-U.S. leader George Bush. Driving in a golf cart, the two leaders boasted their friendship and promised a stronger alliance. Camp David holds a special meaning in international diplomacy. For more than 80 years, the residence has been used to host summits and intimate diplomatic negotiations. In 1943, the United Kingdom's Prime Minister Winston Churchill attended the first such meeting to discuss the Second World War with U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt. In 1978, leaders of Egypt and Israel held peace talks mediated by the U.S. in what we now know as the Camp David Accords. On August 18th, President Biden will host South Korea's President Yoon and Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida at the venue for their first-ever standalone summit. Biden has visited the retreat dozens of times since taking office, but had never invited a foreign leader. U.S. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said last week that Camp David has been a historic setting for summits and for foreign policy conversations, and added that Biden is looking forward to hosting a discussion of historic proportions. An expert pointed out that the trilateral meeting set to be held at the presidential retreat is in stark contrast to North Korea, China, and Russia's display of solidarity at the recent military parade held in Pyongyang.
It shows South Korea, the US, and Japan do not only pursue military alliances, but also solidarity that pursues universal human values like freedom, peace, human rights, prosperity, and the rule of law. To achieve this, they are strengthening solidarity in a fairly relaxed atmosphere.
All eyes are now on whether Friday's gathering at Camp David will mark a new era in Seoul, Washington, and Tokyo's trilateral cooperation. Choi Min-jung, Arirang News.